What is up everyone, Roadrunner here with another video. Today we're going to be covering how to edit faster with a gaming mouse. Let's get started. About 3 years ago, I found this one simple trick to speed up my video editing time, and that was to pick up a gaming mouse. I picked up the Logitech G602 gaming mouse, and at the time I picked it up because it was the mouse with the most custom macros that was also Mac compatible. So when I actually started editing, I picked up one of these cheap wireless mice, and it did the job for a while, but they didn't really last long. I felt like you really just got what you paid for out of them. This one here has adjustable DPI, however, it didn't have programmable buttons. It didn't have the ergonomics in a mouse that I was really looking for. And after buying 2 or 3 of them and then breaking after a few months, I decided to spend a little bit extra and actually get my money's worth. So I picked up the G602, and I can honestly say that this was a really good investment. I've had this one for about 3 years now, and I actually ended up picking up a second one to leave at work or in my camera bag. Another thing that I experienced with this mouse over the cheap one is that I didn't experience any lag with the G602. But the main reason that I ended up going with the Logitech was because of the 6 buttons that are on the side where your thumb is, and the ergonomics of this mouse are pretty great. My thumb fits right in there, and it even has a little bit of a lip for where your pinky would go. Also, you get the software that comes with it so you can program your buttons. It is very user-friendly. Now, this mouse does have a pretty broad DPI range. It goes all the way from 250 to 2500, and I like a mouse that's a little bit more sensitive, especially having 2 external monitors. There is a lot of real estate for my mouse to cover, so I have mine set to about 2250. And not only can you change the DPI and change the macros, but you can also have specific profiles. I have several profiles that I alternate between, and at first started out just having one for Premiere and one for After Effects, but then eventually I adapted to having an entire profile dedicated to just surfing the web. So I can toggle through tabs, I can close a window, I can open a new tab, open a new window, copy, paste, enter, all that stuff. It's now to the point where I'm so used to using this mouse that when I go back to using just a regular left click, right click scroll wheel mouse, I have a hard time adapting back to that because I'm so used to being able to copy and paste and open new tabs and open new windows. And the battery life on these is pretty amazing. Up to 250 hours of battery life with AA's, and for this mouse, I actually just end up using my rechargeable AA's that I use for my audio recorder and my microphones because it's so easy to just swap out the batteries because I always have a few extra charged laying around. It also advertised on there that the button life rate for these is like 20 million clicks, which is pretty ridiculous. And when I ended up picking up my second mouse, I also found a case on Amazon for under $15 that really helps out because I feel much more safe with this in a case if it's in my backpack and moving around than if it was just in there thrown around with the rest of my camera gear. But when it really comes down to editing, which is what I originally got this for, it's great because I have so many options of what I can choose to use my macros for. I have one of the buttons go to the razor tool, one back to the select tool. I have one for nesting selected items. I used to have one set for Alt, so I would very easily be able to hold the Alt button on the mouse, and I was able to duplicate things much quicker. And when it comes to After Effects, I also took the time to program a separate profile for this, where I was able to use Q for, creating shapes and masks as one of the programmable buttons, and then the V or select tool as another one. I also changed one of them for S for scale and P for position, and I made the middle button, or clicking in the scroll wheel, to be Command Z. I changed one to be pre-compose, so I could pre-compose layers. Having such faster access to them using just your thumb or just your middle finger on the scroll wheel. Creatively, the amount of options you have when it comes to 11 programmable buttons is just so vast. I mean, and having the option to do several different profiles, I can have a profile for After Effects, Premiere, surfing the web, character animator, Blender, and if you've seen any of my video editing or motion graphic design tutorials, you'll know that I'm really fond of keyboard shortcuts as they are, but having hotkeys programmed to your mouse where you can access several of them with just a movement of your thumb can really take your video editing, motion graphic design, or animation to the next level of efficiency. And before we finish up today's video, feel free to subscribe and hit the little bell icon to get notified when I post a new video. Also, check out my gear list in the description. Thanks so much. And also, with most wireless USB mice, you'll find that in the flap underneath where the batteries go, there is a perfect spot for where your USB receiver can fit. It's a great spot to put your USB receiver where you won't lose it. I believe you can also program a specific hotkey to cycle through your profiles on the mouse, so you don't have to always open up the Logitech software and change the profile that way, which can also save you a little bit of extra time. And it may seem like a pricey investment, but I'm telling you, not just for video editing, motion graphic design, or animation, but also just for surfing the web, it will really help out a lot. If you are interested in picking one of these up, you can check the link in the description or click up here. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. As always, feel free to subscribe and comment down below what you'd like to see in future videos. Take it easy.